Hello, welcome to the channel Our Day Stories. Sit back and listen to a new story. But don't forget to subscribe and like it.
If you have a story to share, send it to this email, revalife.stories@gmail.com. Terry, a talented designer at a printing company, found solace in her work. As she immersed herself in designing various flyers and catalogs, she listened attentively to her customers' requests. Despite the decline in printing volume due to the rise of stylization, Terry's design department remained busy and rewarding. Her dedication paid off when the flyer she created for the recent Christmas event became a resounding success. The compliments she received filled her heart with joy, reaffirming that her job held a sense of purpose for her. Terry had once believed that she would remain single, devoting her life solely to her career. However, fate had a different plan in store. During a visit to her father, who was hospitalized for appendicitis, Terry had an unexpected encounter. A young doctor named Billy approached her, asking if she was there to visit someone. Little did she know that this chance encounter would blossom into a relationship. Billy became her boyfriend, and more recently, her fiancé, reminding her of life's unpredictable nature. As discussions about marriage arose, Terry found herself swept up in the excitement. She began buying wedding magazines, indulging in the dreams and possibilities that lay ahead. Yet, in the midst of her reverie, her younger sister Jane abruptly snatched the magazine away, questioning Terry's right to be looking at wedding-related material. Jane's condescending tone pierced through Terry's joy. "What's the point of you looking at wedding magazines? It's not like you're getting married," Jane mocked. She belittled Terry for not having a boyfriend, let alone the prospect of marriage. In contrast, Jane boasted about her own romantic experiences, always having a line of suitors. Having grown tired of her sister's constant bragging, Terry took a deep breath and gathered the courage to assert herself. "Actually, I do have a boyfriend and we're engaged. We're getting married soon, which is why I'm looking at wedding magazines," Terry calmly revealed. Jane's smug expression quickly faded, replaced by a sarcastic smile. "Oh, really? So you managed to find someone curious enough to marry you. What makes you so special?" Jane retorted, unable to hide her bitterness. "He loves my energetic and cheerful personality. It's not about being treated like a maid." Terry defended her relationship. "Besides, he understands and supports my career. I don't have to sacrifice my work to be a perfect housewife." Jane's surprise was exaggerated, bordering on disbelief. "You're getting married and still planning to work? How extravagant, marrying a man with modest income," she scoffed, her words laced with envy and disdain. Despite Jane's judgmental attitude, Terry refused to let her sister's opinion define her happiness. Money was not the issue in her relationship. Billy, being a doctor, ensured a stable income for their future. Terry had found a partner who appreciated her for who she was and understood her aspirations. As Terry stood her ground, she vowed not to let her sister's negativity dampen her excitement for the journey ahead. The wedding preparations continued, and Terry remained resolute in her decision to balance her career and married life, fueled by the love and support she received from her amazing fiancé. Terry, determined to focus on her career, continued working diligently despite the turmoil caused by her sister and former fiancé. When her sister fell silent after Terry expressed her desire to continue working, Terry couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. She retreated to her room, seeking solace from the tense atmosphere. Unbeknownst to Terry, her sister muttered something with a meaningful tone upon hearing that Terry's fiancé was a doctor. Little did Terry suspect that her sister had ulterior motives. The tension escalated when Billy, Terry's fiancé, visited her house to meet her parents. The relaxed atmosphere turned uneasy the moment her sister appeared. With a hint of sarcasm, her sister remarked on Billy's appearance, drawing attention to his attractiveness. Terry felt a pang of unease, but she hoped her sister wouldn't stoop so low as to steal her fiancé. Unfortunately, her sister's behavior indicated otherwise. Terry noticed a blush on her sister's cheeks whenever Billy was around, triggering a sense of foreboding. Ignoring her intuition, Terry tried to dismiss her concerns, attributing them to past experiences when her sister had stolen her boyfriends. She wanted to believe that her sister had grown up and wouldn't resort to such actions. But as she observed the closeness between her sister and Billy, her doubts intensified. Her worst fears were realized when Billy uttered unexpected words. He suggested breaking off their engagement and pursuing a relationship with Terry's sister instead. The impact of his betrayal hit Terry like a ton of bricks, erasing any lingering feelings she had for him. She saw through his twisted smile and felt nothing but disgust. In the face of her sister's arrogance and Billy's callousness, Terry mustered the strength to speak her mind. She expressed her relief at not marrying someone like him, someone who could so easily move on to another woman. Terry didn't hold back, telling them both that they were a waste of her time. With her parents' support, Terry managed to cut ties with her sister and her now ex-fiancé. They were banned from seeing their family, and Terry moved forward without any intention of crossing paths with them again. Although she heard rumors of their marriage, she no longer cared. Their actions had solidified her decision to distance herself from their toxic presence. 3 years passed, and Terry, steadfast in her work, celebrated her 30th birthday. Amidst her dedication, she gained a loyal client named Mitchell, who admired her designs. As they interacted during their collaborations, Mitchell's fondness for Terry grew, leading him to ask her out on a meal and eventually express his desire to be in a relationship with her. Terry, hesitant but open to new possibilities, contemplated the offer. Terry found herself genuinely happy with Mitchell's presence in her life. His sincerity and genuine nature made her believe that he wouldn't repeat the mistakes of her past relationship. However, the trauma caused by her sister's actions lingered within her, casting a shadow of doubt. Feeling the need to be open and honest, Terry decided to share the story of her sister and former fiancé with Mitchell. She even showed him a picture of her sister, anxiously observing his reaction. To her surprise, Mitchell's expression remained unchanged. He casually glanced away from the photo and offered her a gentle smile. In an attempt to reassure her, Mitchell spoke candidly. He admitted that in the past, he had encountered many women who were objectively more attractive than her sister. However, none of them captivated his interest. He realized that external beauty and appearance paled in comparison to the inner beauty and genuine happiness he witnessed in Terry. Baffled and flustered, Terry struggled to comprehend Mitchell's words. She questioned his perspective, unsure of her own worth. But Mitchell pressed on, explaining that he found her captivating and beautiful in every sense. He admired how she shone brightly not only in their professional interactions, but also during their meals and dates. He believed that she genuinely enjoyed their time together, radiating happiness and embracing life. Overwhelmed by Mitchell's heartfelt words, Terry found herself at a loss for words. The realization that she had touched someone's heart with her genuine self was both embarrassing and heartwarming. As her cheeks flushed with a mix of emotions, she interrupted Mitchell, unable to bear the overwhelming sweetness of his confession. In her vulnerable state, Terry expressed her embarrassment, feeling unable to accept the flood of compliments. But Mitchell persisted, assuring her that her beauty surpassed anyone else he had encountered. He genuinely believed she was an exceptional woman and proposed that they enter into a relationship with the possibility of marriage. Terry's heart fluttered, her emotions intertwined with embarrassment and joy. She couldn't deny the sincerity in Mitchell's words, and a small part of her began to believe in her own worth. As she mustered her courage, she replied to Mitchell, her voice filled with vulnerability and hope. Blushing and attempting to stop him, Terry found herself unable to deter Mitchell's continuous shower of affectionate words. Despite the embarrassment, she eventually agreed to date him, and their relationship blossomed. 1 year later, they happily tied the knot and embarked on their journey as a married couple. Their newlywed life was filled with joy, and Terry felt their bond grow even stronger. They shared household chores, with Mitchell often surprising her with delicious homemade meals. On their days off, they enjoyed outings together, cherishing each other's company. However, on one fateful day during a furniture shopping trip, Terry's nightmare unfolded before her. She heard a familiar voice from behind, instantly recognizing it as her sister Jane. Standing beside her was Billy, Terry's former fiancé. Terry couldn't ignore their presence, even without seeing their faces. It had been 4 years since their last encounter, but the memories were still fresh. Jane's appearance seemed sharper than before, perhaps reflecting her age or an intensified personality. Billy, on the other hand, appeared slimmer, his smirk suggesting a changed demeanor. Irritation stirred within Terry, but she chose to maintain her composure, refusing to engage in their provocation. However, Terry's silence seemed to irk her sister and Billy further, leading to a crescendo of rude remarks. Their voices grew louder, drawing the attention of other customers and store employees. Frustrated, Terry grabbed her husband's hand, ready to leave. To her surprise, Mitchell remained rooted to the spot. Finally realizing Mitchell's presence, Jane and Billy directed their attention towards him. Terry's sister widened her eyes in disbelief, questioning his relationship with Terry. In a condescending tone, they ridiculed Terry and questioned Mitchell's decision to marry her. Terry's irritation peaked as their insults became louder, echoing through the store. Unwilling to stoop to their level, Terry took a deep breath and attempted to lead her husband away. But Mitchell's response caught her off guard. He stood firm, his grip on Terry's hand unwavering. Terry's sister and her husband stared at him, awaiting his explanation. With a calm and unwavering voice, Mitchell addressed Terry's sister. "I am Terry's husband," he stated plainly, leaving her sister speechless. Billy interjected with a hint of surprise, but Terry's husband's presence exuded a quiet confidence that demanded respect. Unfazed by their astonishment, Terry's husband dismissed their comments with a simple response. "I chose to marry Terry because she is a remarkable woman. Her inner beauty, strength, and character far surpass external appearances," he stated firmly. Terry's heart swelled with gratitude and admiration for her husband's unwavering support. His words not only silenced her sister and Billy, but also reassured Terry of his love and devotion. With a final glance of indifference, Terry and her husband turned away, leaving her sister and the memories of their toxic presence behind. As they walked away hand in hand, Terry felt a sense of liberation. She was grateful to have found a partner who saw her for who she truly was and valued her inner beauty above all else. With Mitchell by her side, Terry was ready to face the world, free from the judgment and negativity of her past. Terry's husband, Mitchell, couldn't stand idly by as Terry's sister continued her barrage of hurtful remarks. He intervened, addressing Terry's sister directly and introducing himself as the one who married her. Her sister responded with a snide comment about his name, attempting to undermine their relationship. Unfazed, Mitchell calmly handed his business card to Billy, Terry's sister's husband, before addressing Terry's sister once again. He acknowledged her mean-spirited comments towards Terry and stated that her words only reflected her twisted personality. Terry's sister, taken aback by the blunt truth, grew visibly flustered. Refusing to back down, Terry's sister vehemently denied her own ugliness and questioned Mitchell's audacity. However, Mitchell's response struck a chord. He pointed out that true beauty emanates from within, and her actions of envying her sister and stealing her fiancé betrayed her own insecurities. Terry couldn't help but be surprised by her husband's words. It was a perspective she had never considered before. Despite her sister's constant belittlement, Terry had never realized that she could be seen as a figure to aspire to and surpass. The revelation left her sister unsettled. Terry's sister, struggling to maintain her composure, retaliated by denying any envy towards Terry. But Mitchell challenged her, questioning why someone would go to such lengths to be close to and surpass their admired figures if not driven by envy. Terry's sister's arguments crumbled under the weight of his reasoning. As Terry observed the exchange between her husband and sister, a newfound sense of strength and self-worth began to blossom within her. She realized that her sister's behavior was a reflection of her own insecurities, and it no longer held power over her. Terry stood tall, no longer burdened by the weight of her sister's words. In that moment, Terry's husband became her unwavering support and shield against the negativity. His words and actions reaffirmed her worth and silenced her sister's harmful remarks. Terry felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude and love for the man who saw her for who she truly was. Leaving her sister fuming in her own insecurities, Terry and her husband turned away, ready to continue their journey together. With her husband's unwavering support, Terry knew she could overcome any challenges that lay ahead. The toxic presence of her sister could no longer overshadow the happiness and love she had found. As the tension between Terry's sister and her husband reached its peak, Terry couldn't help but wonder if there was a possibility of a deeper connection between them. Her sister's desperate attempts to assert dominance and claim what Terry had filled the air with an uncomfortable heaviness. Terry couldn't shake the feeling that her sister's actions stemmed from deep-seated jealousy. Despite Terry's husband's insistence that her sister's actions were driven by a lack of confidence, her sister vehemently denied any feelings of jealousy. Terry's sister argued that confident people could live proudly without resorting to such behavior. Terry's husband remained resolute in his belief, seeing through the facade of confidence to the insecurity within Terry's sister. However, the tense atmosphere was broken by a sudden outburst from Billy. He shouted the name Mitchell Brown with a shocked and pale expression on his face. Terry's sister, Jane, turned her attention to the business card her husband had received earlier. As realization dawned upon her, she shook with disbelief. Jane connected the dots and revealed that Mitchell's last name, Brown, was the same as the chairman and director of the hospital where she worked. She recalled seeing Mitchell with the chairman on several occasions. The pieces fell into place and the truth became apparent. Mitchell was the son of a renowned doctor and the heir to a well-known pharmaceutical company. Terry's sister and Billy were taken aback by this revelation, their faces drained of color. Terry's husband calmly confirmed their suspicions, admitting that he was indeed the grandson who had taken over the family business. The shock and disbelief in Jane and Billy's faces were palpable. Caught off guard by this revelation, Jane and Billy struggled to find their words. Terry's husband remained composed and began to explain the situation, shedding light on his family background and his role in the pharmaceutical company. The weight of his words sank in, leaving Jane and Billy in a state of stunned silence. The sudden revelation shifted the dynamics of the encounter. Terry's sister, once filled with arrogance and superiority, now found herself confronted with her own misplaced actions. The realization that Terry's husband held a prominent position and came from a respected family forced her to reassess her behavior and the jealousy that had driven her actions. As Terry observed her sister's shocked expression, she couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions. While a part of her sympathized with her sister's internal struggle, she also recognized the consequences of her sister's actions. The encounter served as a poignant reminder that true confidence comes from within, not from belittling or trying to surpass others. In that moment, Terry's husband extended a hand of understanding and reconciliation. He acknowledged the unexpected turn of events, but assured Jane and Billy that he held no ill will towards them. Instead, he encouraged them to reflect on their actions and seek growth and self-improvement. With the weight of the encounter hanging in the air, Terry's husband and Terry herself prepared to move forward. The revelation had exposed the depths of jealousy and insecurity that had plagued their relationship. However, it also offered an opportunity for growth and healing, a chance for Terry's sister to confront her inner demons and find a path towards self-acceptance. After the encounter with Terry's sister and her husband, Terry and her husband decided to sever ties with them and move forward. They walked away, leaving Jane and Billy stunned behind them. Terry couldn't help but feel a sense of relief knowing that they would likely never see them again. In the aftermath of the encounter, Terry's husband took action. He reported Billy's behavior and attitude to his father, who held a prominent position in the medical field. As a result, Billy faced consequences for his actions. Although he managed to keep his job, he experienced a significant pay cut and was stripped of his responsibilities. The hospital community turned their backs on him, and he faced cold stares from his colleagues and patients alike. Eventually, the pressure became too much, and Billy chose to leave the job, effectively running away from the situation. Meanwhile, the truth about Jane's reckless spending habits and financial difficulties came to light. Despite her high salary, she struggled to manage her finances. As Billy faced the consequences of his actions, Jane quickly made the decision to divorce him, believing she could find someone else. However, things didn't go according to plan. Terry's husband and Terry herself had suspected that Jane's true character was revealing itself. Her once cute face had become harsher, reflecting her inner nature. It seemed that her prime time for romantic relationships had come to an end, as potential partners no longer showed interest in her. Terry's parents confirmed this, sharing that nobody wanted to be with Jane. The news of Jane's struggles reached Terry through her parents' phone call. It was a reminder that actions have consequences, and Jane's reckless behavior had led her down a challenging path. While Terry couldn't help but feel a twinge of sympathy for her sister's hardships, she also recognized that it was the result of her own choices. With their past behind them, Terry and her husband focused on building their own future. They remained grateful for the love and support they had found in each other. Their bond grew stronger as they faced the challenges and joys of life together, leaving behind the toxicity of the past. Terry embraced the newfound peace and happiness, knowing that she had finally found a partner who valued and respected her for who she truly was. Terry sat at her desk, her hand softly caressing her growing belly. She had finally found peace and happiness in her life, free from the curse of her sister and her husband's toxic behavior. The consequences of their actions had caught up with them, and they had vanished into the nightlife, their whereabouts unknown. Terry cherished the calm and fulfilling days she now enjoyed. Her married life with her loving husband was filled with tranquility and joy. Her job, which she was passionate about, continued to bring her fulfillment and purpose. Every day she poured her creativity and talent into her work, grateful for the opportunities that came her way. And now a new chapter was about to begin. Terry and her husband were expecting their first child. As she gazed at the computer monitor, her heart filled with love and excitement. The thought of becoming a family of 3 brought a sense of warmth and anticipation. She couldn't wait to welcome their little one into the world and shower them with love and care. Terry's journey had been filled with challenges, but she had overcome them with resilience and determination. She had learned the importance of surrounding herself with genuine love and support, and she had found it in her husband. Together, they would create a nurturing and loving environment for their child, free from the toxic influences of the past. As Terry continued to rub her growing belly, a sense of contentment washed over her. She was grateful for the journey she had taken, as it had led her to this moment of serenity and happiness. She looked forward to the future with hope and excitement, ready to embrace the joys and responsibilities of motherhood. The days ahead were filled with anticipation, and Terry knew that her life had been transformed for the better. She had found her purpose, her happiness, and the unconditional love that she had always longed for. With a smile on her face, she closed her eyes, embracing the serenity of the present moment and eagerly awaiting the arrival of their precious baby. This story makes you think about the complexities of family relationships, jealousy, and the search for happiness. The main character faces neglect and envy from her sister, who ruthlessly tries to steal her partner and hurt her. The story explores the complex emotional dynamics within a family and shows how one can find strength and happiness despite such difficulties. The story reminded me that despite difficulties, we can find strength and determination and overcome any obstacles to achieve a happy and fulfilling life. And what feelings did you experience after listening to this story? Maybe you want to share your story. Then please feel free to comment.